You're watching Unrelent Gaming. This is Beerus, the god of destruction. Make sure you subscribe to Unrelent Gaming and push the like button for me, or else I'll Hakai you from existence.
Oh, and do make sure to watch the entire video all the way through. And to follow Unrelent Gaming on both Instagram and Twitter.
Whiz, enough. On to the video.
With Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 75 now officially in the history books, the titanic battle on planet Sorel continues as the so-called strongest in Universe 7 Granola continues to wage war against both Goku and Vegeta, with seemingly no end in sight as Granola now continues to get stronger, with Vegeta now having to be on the receiving end of a beatdown, with seemingly no end in sight as Granola now continues to get stronger as Vegeta is currently down on the ground. The situation now seems to be more dire than ever before, considering the fact that Goku's trying to heal himself, all the while Vegeta's body had continued to endure so much punishment that he's now beginning to lose focus, as tension now seems to be at an all-time high, more so now than ever before. The million-dollar question going forward is, now that Granola had tapped into his full potential in manifesting this power on the surface, will he in fact be the victor of this battle against both Goku and Vegeta, or are either one of the two going to somehow bounce back in finally being able to put Granola down for good? As a quick little heads up before we go any deeper into this video, if you just so happen to be new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then I do encourage you guys to go on over and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single video posted onto the channel, as well as also giving this video a big fat thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys are excited to see what's about to come in the future, because Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 76 is now going to set up an interesting scenario to where not only are the Heaters going to play a big role in finally getting their hands assumingly on the Cerealian Dragon Balls, but all the while on the other side of the planet, it looks as though Granola is looking to finally end his fight with Goku and Vegeta. But the question is, will he? Because now that Goku's awake, I doubt that either one of the two, that being Goku and or Vegeta, are going to let the other perish. So there is no doubt that at some point Goku is going to re-enter this fight against Granola. But even then, how much of an impact will Goku really have in this fight, considering the fact that he's also injured, as well as Ultra Ego Vegeta? And yes, that is his name. It's an incredibly stupid name to choose for such a character, but either way, I would much rather run with the moniker of Mega Instinct over Ultra Ego. But nonetheless, Vegeta's downfall in this battle was thinking that he was some kind of a tank and he was able to endure and survive essentially all of Granola's attacks without there having to be any repercussions on his body, when in fact by the end, based on his own self-proclamation, Vegeta is starting to lose focus as confirmed by Goku, and that only comes due to the overwhelming and tremendous amounts of punishment that his body had endured in essentially having to burn out and run out of gas by the end, when in fact Vegeta did have the opportunity to finish Granola off in the beginning. Either way, there is still somewhat of a chance for either one of them to bounce back and do what they can, or at least what they must, in order to get the upper hand on Granola. But by the end, I honestly don't see that being the case, because even if we get a scenario to where we get to see Ultra Ego Vegeta and Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku essentially tag team it up to fight Granola 2-on-1, I think that by the end, the grandiose interruption is going to come through the form of the Heaters, because with the Heaters now, specifically Elec having to confirm that he's even surprised that Granola was able to last this long, he could go on to care less about what's happening on the battlefield, because their ultimate plan right now is to use the intel gathered by Zuno in collecting the Cerealian Dragon Balls to then make their wish. Which one must beg the question as to what their wish is going to be. Are they going to wish to become the strongest? Are they somehow going to wish for Granola's powers to be taken away from him? Are they going to make a separate wish altogether? We don't know, but what we do know as of right now is, unlike Goku, who literally got knocked out and put into a coma, Vegeta to some extent is still hanging on in this fight, and he did not go to sleep or revert back down to his base form, but rather still remains in his destroyer-like form, in the fact that even though he had taken so much punishment, he is still refusing to go down despite the situation at hand. But unless there is a circumstance and or situation to where someone, i.e. Goku, lends Vegeta a helping hand, then I really do believe that Granola is going to smash them both. That's the narrative going forward, and as of course you guys can see here on your screen, in a very clever way during the month of March, Shueisha went on to put out this promotional material to suggest that the potential of the strongest warrior of Universe 7 will essentially come into fruition very soon, and we saw that literally happen in this last chapter, because for someone like Vegeta to have this super uber duper power up in which either makes him relative to Ultra Instinct, stronger than Ultra Instinct, weaker than Ultra Instinct, either way you want to look at it, it was supposed to give Vegeta a massive amp, and look what happened by the end. So make no mistake about it, the title and the moniker of strongest in Universe 7 still goes to Granola, but I'm calling it right now, even if there were to be a 2-on-1 scenario very similar to Broly or very similar to Jiren, Granola will have an extremely difficult time holding these guys off, but the real key to victory here will come through the form of the heaters, and that really all depends on the writing aspect to see what Akira Toriyama and Toyotaro do in having this look and feel at least a little different by comparison to some of the other previous wishes that villains have made, because it is foolish to suggest that either Goku or Vegeta are going to clean house by defeating Granola all by themselves, when thus far, when looking back at the last 4 to 5 manga chapters, it's fairly evident to say that both of them have taken L's, one more so than the other, in Goku having to take a bigger L than Vegeta, but nonetheless, by the end, it was Granola who was left standing on top, and in the case of Vegeta, he went into this fight thinking that he could tank everything, and he's now slowly beginning to lose his vision. Even Goku went as far as to say that he lost his edge, so that's not a good thing, especially if he's supposed to be someone that bears the power of a god of destruction, right? So you either have him destroy somebody, or you have him just take an L, and in this case here, he's taken an L, not as big of an L as Goku did when the original went on to reveal himself in knocking Goku out, but nevertheless, he's on the ground, he's hurt, yeah, he's still mobile and he's still functional in this battle, but with Vegeta now finally beginning to realize that he is hurt and he is in pain, even self-confirming by suggesting that he's taken a bit more punishment than how he originally had wanted to, even Granola went on to put this into question by basically asking Vegeta, hey, how come you're not moving out of the way, right? So unless they're together, I do believe that they stand somewhat of a chance in pushing this guy back, and unless once more Granola reveals that he has another hidden power within him, then we're simply going to have to wait and see how this unfolds, because they have to go into this fight by using their heads in the fact that Granola cannot be reasoned with, and what's even more baffling than anything else is how he even went on to just simply disregard Oatmeal like he was nothing, as even Oatmeal tried to persuade Granola by telling him, hey, this goes against everything you were told before, maybe this guy is telling the truth, right? So it's clear, it's very clear from the beginning that Granola cannot be reasoned with, so the smart thing to do is to attack this guy head on, because why is it that Goku and Vegeta were able to jump merge Zamasu? Why was it that Goku and Vegeta were able to jump Jiren? Why was it that Goku and Vegeta went on to jump Broly? Why was it that Goku and Vegeta went on to attack Moro on planet Namek, all while doing so together, but they're refusing to work together when having to fight against the so-called, quote, strongest in Universe 7. Now wait, I know what you might be thinking, but Vegeta has the Senzu Bean. Well, courtesy of one of my friends that goes by the name of JD with Degrees, JD went on to point out that if you pay close enough attention and you go back and remember where Vegeta had put that Senzu Bean, Vegeta had put that Senzu Bean within that armor that he had on his chest, which, if you guys look by now, he no longer has that armor on his chest. So one of two things either happened. Either A, the Senzu Bean was destroyed during the course of that massive collision having to occur, or B, either Vegeta still has it lying around somewhere, maybe in his glove, maybe it is somewhere on the ground that he could find, but the one thing that I'm hoping for is that Akira Toriyama and Toyotaro don't forget about this, because if you don't want to have the element of the Senzu Bean be a thing, then you can just have it to where it was destroyed, but if you do want to have the element of the Senzu Bean introduced, then Vegeta could be kind of smart enough in having to reveal that he was hiding it the whole time, or even goes on to find it on the ground and using it to recover. I think that would be substantial for his character, because make no mistake about it, Vegeta right now is injured. He's severely injured, and he even knows this. So if you want to pick the pace back up and you want to have Vegeta at his peak again, then do something with the Senzu Bean, because I firmly believe that the key to victory right now is teamwork. Goku and Vegeta beating Granola together, 2-on-1, you jump the guy, Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, you have them come together, and you have them put this guy down once and for all. Unless, like I just said, you want to have the Senzu Bean become a factor, Vegeta eats the Senzu Bean, he recovers, and then he finishes what he had started. But by the end of all of this, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below involving 3 specific things. That being number 1, do you guys possibly see Goku and Vegeta having to jump this guy and working together, or do you guys more or less think that they're going to fight separately until something else happens? Question number 2 is, what do you think is going to happen to Granola as he goes on to approach Vegeta in this upcoming fight in Dragon Ball Super Manga chapter number 76? And lastly, do you guys believe that the heaters are going to be involved by the end? Because I firmly believe, and I want to stand by the idea, that Goku and Vegeta are going to fight Granola together, or at least try to, but I think that by the end, the heaters are going to be the ones that are going to throw a huge monkey wrench in this, either in using the Cerealian Dragon Balls and becoming the strongest, or perhaps even maybe using the Cerealian Dragon Balls in possibly even removing Granola from becoming the strongest, because that is a possibility to suggest that if they were to somehow confront Tarambo, they can reverse the wish in making Granola weak again, or do something of the sorts in which goes on to throw everybody off their game. Because remember, Goku's hurt, Vegeta's hurt, and it looks like Granola's also hurt as well, but at the same time, he kind of seems to be the only strong one in this battle. And when the hell did Goku ever learn to heal himself? That's such plot convenience, and it's such BS, because I like Goku, I like Vegeta, but since when were these guys able to actually heal themselves during the course of battle, right? At that point, you have to ask yourself, what's the point of even using Senzu Beans when, assumingly enough, Goku can just patch up that massive hole he has in his chest and just go right back into the fight? I would much rather prefer the Senzu Bean gimmick over Goku just magically healing himself, but even then, I don't think that he's fully going to heal himself. I think that he's just going to patch himself up momentarily and jump back in just to get bodied, because by the end of all of this, I'm calling it right now, to where I guess you could say if there is going to be a last man standing, I firmly believe that it is going to be Granola, and I do have an upcoming video talking about the possibility of Gogeta versus Granola, which could essentially be the key to victory, at least for them. But unless, of course, they end up pulling that off, then I really don't see how in the hell they're going to be able to beat this guy, especially if Vegeta's brand new Ultra Ego power, which again, I cannot stand the thought of that name, was supposed to be something that either rivals Ultra Instinct, comes close to Ultra Instinct, either way you want to look at it, it was supposed to be a significant amp for Vegeta, in which it was, but then Granola ultimately caught up by somehow having to reveal that his left eye is also enhanced, and then by the end, we were left with Vegeta launching this massive Hakai energy ball only for him to be put down on the ground. Why? Right? That makes no sense, at least to me. So hopefully enough, Toyotaro and Toriyama, they get together and they get their act straight, because introducing all of these crazy forms and crazy techniques and crazy abilities for our heroes only for them to get bodied later, I think is really counterintuitive and counterproductive to their overall growth. Because imagine you reach a brand new power or a brand new transformation, and then some rinky-dink guy just comes along, uses 2 Dragon Balls that nobody has ever heard of, and wishes to smash you into the ground despite the decades of training you have done to reach that level of power. Again, no hate, but the writing needs to improve, and I think that by the end, they need to write this in such a way where nobody kind of wins, right? Nobody does anything to kind of insinuate that they are the victors of this battle, but I think that if I had to look at this objectively, between both parties, the Saiyans and the Cerealians, I do think that in some kind of way, Granola is in some way, shape, or form going to be the last one standing, in which, not to suggest that Goku and Vegeta aren't, but I firmly believe that by the end, the heaters are going to screw everybody, which will only then lead to possibly, in my opinion, Vegeta, Goku, and Granola versus the heaters by the end. So again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for your time. If you guys enjoyed, give this video a big fat thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and also let me know in the comment section below as to what you guys would do to fix the writing aspect of this in kind of establishing a narrative where everything feels balanced and everything